guys, what's going on? SHOT Show 2019, Reg Wales, Vortex Canada. Reg, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well.
So we got some exciting stuff here from Vortex. Tell me a little bit about it.
What we have here is the Furies. These are now our Gen 2 Furies. It is 5,000 yards, so 5,000 yards reflective target. 5,000 yards, people. So it's an incredible piece of kit. The CPU, meaning the computer that's inside, is extremely fast. It's just a slightly different reticle style than the previous Fury, but again, upgrades, and again, 5,000 yards. So something to watch for this year.
Well, even off camera, originally you quoted 5,000. I had to come over here, say to Reg, did you actually say 5,000?
You think about even our handhelds that we started out when we ventured into the handheld units. We went from the 1800s, we had the 1300s previously in previous years, but yes, the Fury's coming in at the 1600, now moving into the 5,000.
Reg, tell me a little bit about why the guys should be excited about this product here.
Well, what makes it so exciting is the fact that anyone that's had experience with rangefinders in the past knows that there is limitation to the rangefinder itself. And more it's due to environmental factors. So the mirage, heat, the target itself, reflective target, white or black in color. With this one here giving it more power to reach out further with the actual laser itself, it's actually going to give it more percentage that's going to get the actual feedback that you need. So if you had a rangefinder that's not quite doing it for you, even if it's advertised at 1,600, 1,800, and you're not getting those reflective targets back, you're going to need more power. So 5,000 yards seems very extreme, and it is to the average shooter. But those people that are getting to the PRS matches, or just the guys that want to reach out there for fun to shoot the long distances, they do need, in fact, to have that extra boost in power. Not necessarily to reach out to 5,000 to shoot that far, but again, to engage a target 2,000 meters, they're going to need that extra boost. This unit will give it to them. Some of our guys down here in the US have said that they've actually reached past the 5,000 mark on hard surfaces, hard buildings, so really excited to get these back home and try them out. The rangefinder itself should come in just around $1,600. We're told they should be shipping shortly. I'm not going to give you an exact date because that's kind of up in the air for us right now, but look for them this spring for sure.
I understand you got some new viewfinders or a new aspect to a viewfinder.
We've got the RT eyepiece. Viewers that are familiar with our product know that the Gen 1 spotter came with an RT eyepiece that matched their reticle and the reticle in their scope. So if you have an MOA reticle in your scope, you're going to want to have an MOA reticle in your spotting scope. Makes it essential for calling shots, for shot corrections. You got a spotter or you're spotting for yourself after you've missed a target, you can make a quick shot correction on that.
A lot of guys may get into PR shooting and want to know, why is a viewfinder worth spending the extra dollars on?
Headaches, for the most part.
Yes.
And in simplicity's sake, it eliminates math, which we all dread on the range. And again, simplicity. Matching those reticles up is just what you see is what you're going to dial or what you're going to make your shot correction. So whatever you're seeing in here on the reticle, and that's where your shot lands, that's exactly what you're going to take the information from here and put it into your scope and dial or hold and hit the target.
We're going to talk about reticles. Reg, what's going on with the reticles for Vortex?
We introduced our EBR, what we call the 7C. It's a little different than the 7B that we have in our AMG product. So you can see the 7C. It's that Christmas tree that we're always kind of known for, but again, very informative, nice clean lines. You can see all four sections or quadrants of the reticle or the scope picture is not overly cluttered. So it's always been a good hit for us. Just cleaned it up, again, making it a little bit more informative to the shooter. So that's new for us this year, putting it into our Gen 2 Razor. So we got the introduction of the Horus 59 reticle, and we have the Horus Tremor 3. Law enforcement, military has been using it for quite some time. So we've introduced that into our new Gen 2, and that is new for us this year.
And I know it's not something that you would typically go after with the Horus, but like you said, Vortex is great about customers want it, you guys go for it.
That's one of the things we're known for also is customer service. So again, the people that are watching their videos, watching our YouTube videos, or even contacting me or any of our sales reps, they give us lots of tidbits like, I want to see this, I want to see that, and we pass that along. This is a family-owned business still. It's very large, as you can tell, being in the booth. We've had great success. But the feedback that we get from the customers, we send that up the chain of command, and we're seeing it now, such as the Horus reticles that came from us during an earlier viewing down here. We came down last year, and we made that known, and they've delivered for us. They put it in there and made it happen.
We've got some affordable scope rings we're going to go look at next.
Yep.
Okay, so take me over there. We'll go check them out.
Done.
Okay. So, Reg, we got another exciting product, and I know you mentioned that the viewers might not realize how exciting this is. Tell them why they should be excited about this product.
I think everyone should be excited about this. It's just the fact that the technology has gone into the rings. So what we're looking at the scope so much now is actually the mounting hardware itself to put it on. I've always said that the rings are the Achilles heel. It's kind of the point, that the breaking point in the whole rifle and scope system, and it's the mounting. So usually it's mounting is user error, and the number one issue is over torquing rings. So when rings are over torqued, they actually cause restriction or pinch points on the scope, and it restricts the movement, causing erratic behavior for the scope or for the shooter shooting downrange. The technology and R&D that went into these rings is that you can see here that they're laser engraved, so they actually say 18 inch-pounds, so that's telling you the torque specs. What you can't really see clearly is on the inside, we actually have the height of the ring, and we actually have the torque setting also on it to fasten them to the actual pick or weave or rail. The key important point here is that even if the user did not go ahead and abide by the torque specs, the tolerances are so tight that even if they were to torque them down completely as far as they go, you can see that we don't have any spaces here. So they are torqued completely down. They will not crush the tube. So we have a lot of other manufacturers' scopes that other shooters will use, but they'd like to use our accessories such as our rings. So in this case, if another manufacturer's scope was being used and they were using our rings, it wouldn't damage the scope at all.
And we know that Vortex has warranty second to none in the business. And
Yes.
One of the biggest ones is user error, like you said, crushing tubes. You think this is a really simple solution, but most guys, the very first thing they do is they toss away the instructions. I'm not going to read that, right?
That's right.
I'm guilty of doing it myself, so having it on here really helps keep guys from having to dig it into the contents of the package.
Absolutely. It's basically, it's in your face. You have to abide by it. If you're not looking at it, you know, there's something up there. There's something wrong. The good thing is, again, labeling it. If something should happen to the scope itself in previous with rings, we would replace the scope because it's not functional after it's crushed. But in this case, this is going to save a lot of returns. Now, not only on our half, but because of the shooter, we don't have as much downtime. So the shooter's not waiting to get the scope in to get another scope back. So the important thing is proper installation. So proper installation, once again, is, I'd say, at least 75% of the issue. Once the scope is properly mounted and the scope is functioning fine, we're good to go.
And guys are, you know, always coming into this at all different levels, right?
That's
and
right.
The thing that really gets me excited is the fact that these are affordable, right? So when guys are getting into that price point, like with your Diamondback, it's an affordable scope. A lot of guys don't want to drop $200, $300 on rings. So they go and they buy cheap rings, right? But now you're giving them an option to get good rings, solid top-end rings, for what kind of price point?
Right now, today at SHOT, we're just getting the price point being thrown around is about $90 Canadian for street. So, you know, very affordable rings. The fact is, the technology that's got into them, when anyone buys a scope today, I always say rings, 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 and they wonder why. And again, those erratic problems that you're having on the range, it all comes down to the mounting and getting that scope perfectly on to the firearm itself. If it's not properly mounted, all your troubles start right from the get-go before the first shot is fired. You're trying to deal with it. So whether you have a big budget or a small budget, I think this is something that everyone should be able to afford with their scope.
You're hearing it from the man who quite literally wrote the book, Reg Wheels. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And much more to come.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys.
And so you don't miss out, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube.com. This is Coat of Arms.